Excerpt from a press conference with New York Mets President of Baseball Operations, David Stearns, the day after the Mets were eliminated from the postseason. Courtesy Sportsnet, New York.
I'll start out with a couple of quick thoughts here, and then obviously happy to answer any and all questions. Tremendously disappointing season, not nearly good enough. I think we all know that. We came into this year with, deservedly so, very high expectations, and we didn't come close to meeting them. And I'm keenly aware of that. I'm the architect of the team. I'm responsible for it. I understand how frustrated our fan base is. I understand how frustrated everyone in this building is today, everyone associated with the Mets. And we got to do better. And I'm committed to moving us forward and doing better.
Excerpt from the Evan and Tiki radio show, courtesy WFAN.
But first, we offer congratulations. We congratulate maybe the most gutless, most spineless, a team that brought us maybe the biggest black mark in the history of the New York Mets. We congratulate the 2025 New York Mets for doing the impossible. All the talent in the world, an owner willing to spend, a team president who's the smartest man in the room. Congratulations on somehow, some way, taking 21 games above 500, taking a garbage bottom of the National League, and somehow finding a way to screw their fans one last time. True crime.
Sex.
Political conspiracy.
Celebrity gossip.
Murder.
UFOs.
Crooked officials.
The occult.
Assassination.
Courtroom drama. Rape.
Corporate scams.
Scandal Sheet. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scandal Sheet. My name is Thad Helsley, and today, with the regular baseball season finally over, we're going to talk about what a terribly disappointing year it was for the New York Mets. And to lead us through this, we are again joined by our longtime guests and favorite New Yorkers, the Mets Mob. Gentlemen, please introduce yourself.
Mediocre looking Ron from Manhattan.
I'm Leonardo from Manhattan, host of the Arrival On podcast and proud father of Anna Diem, who just left. We did motorcycle riding, apple picking, pumpkin picking, and a bunch of other stuff. We had a great time.
We'll bring her on the pod one of these days.
Absolutely.
All right.
Got her on tonight. What's up, everybody? Dave Grover from beautiful Manhattan, New York City. Angry, bitter, frustrated Mets fan. So I'm ready to go.
So our audience is eager to hear what you think happened to your season that started brilliantly. But before that, I wanted to talk about the very last game of the regular season, 7 days ago, that you had against the Marlins. So my understanding was that if you had won that game, you would have at least had a wild card slot in the postseason. So everyone knew it was high stakes, but you were shut out. So can one or all of you walk our audience through what happened in that game?
All right. I've been a fan for 46 years. And as a Mets fan for 46 years, you can imagine the type of heartbreak and horrible games that I've seen in my life. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, surprise to some people, this was the worst game I ever saw as a Mets fan in my 46 years of fandom. Okay.
Really?
The reason it was so horrible, despite everything you said, with the great season, turning sour, the collapse, it's because Major League Baseball added something new a few years ago where every game on the last game of the year is played at exactly the same time. So you're watching every team go through the same thing and you're getting real-time updates. So what happened was the Mets had to win, the Reds had to lose for the Mets to get into the playoffs, which was probably not going to happen. So the Reds take an early lead in that game. And you're like, all right, whatever, it doesn't really matter. The Mets start losing, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, the Brewers come back in a meaningless game for them and take the lead on the Reds. And you're like, wait a minute. This game against the Marlins that we're going to lose will now cost us the playoffs. That was absolutely infuriating, and that's what drove me off the wall. That's why it was the worst game I ever saw.
And the Marlins, I mean, my God.
They have a history of doing that to us.
Oh, really? They did? Okay. All right.
Leonardo, go ahead.
You got other guys want to weigh in on that one?
There's a famous song, I think by the Smiths or Marcy, the boy with the thorn in his side. And the Miami Marlins play like the 61 Yankees when they play the Mets. There's a hatred there for some reason, and they played great, but we were so anemic, and it was a microcosm of the last 3 months of the season. We couldn't do anything right. No chemistry, no leadership, which I definitely want to talk about. And guess what? The only person that actually had some heart in the last game, in the last, probably, Dave, you'll probably agree with me, even 2 to 3 months, Peter Allen Alonso, even though I don't know if that's his middle name. But Peter Allen,
a controversial figure in Mets world, right?
I would have bet my motorcycle that they were going to lose that game. It didn't feel like there was any life. If they had a blood pressure, it would be like, if this was a mass show, you'd have to say, hey, give me those electrodes and let me see if I can jumpstart this guy's heart, because they had, you know what? They didn't have any heart.
So the last game to me,
that's good.
It didn't really have that much of an impact on me, I guess. Wrong?
Is that it? Okay.
But I want to add something more.
Okay, please do.
I want to see if Leonardo agrees. I'm sure he does. That last game, I know we're going to get into some managerial stuff a little bit after.
Yeah.
We had Sean Manaea pitching well for the first time in forever. And our manager takes him out in the second freaking inning.
Oh, my God.
He was pitching well. He walked one guy, and then he walked one essentially intentionally. Mendoza ran out there, sprinted out to get him out of the game to bring in a tired, bad bullpen for 7 innings. I mean, that blew my mind. What are you bringing him out now? He's finally pitching well. You do not take him out of that game.
What was that picture we had with Terry Collins as the manager? And he was a drug addict, and his career sucked, but he won the Cy Young that one year. Huh?
Well, you say drug addict like it's a negative thing, Len.
Right. No. Remember, when Terry Collins came to take him out.
Matt Harvey in the World Series?
Yeah. Right. If I was the Mets pitcher, Manaea, I would have said, get back in there. I'm finishing this freaking inning. And that's what I mean when these guys, nobody's got cojones on this team. Nobody. I mean, Brandon Nemo kind of does, but he's kind of too nice of a guy too, And I love his smile. I love how he plays. And unfortunately, he's signed to a long-term contract. So I don't know if, if they'll trade him, and you may remember years ago when one of the owners of the team had a conversation with GQ, and the owner was putting down David Wright. Remember that? Yeah.
Fred Wilpon. Yep.
Right. Yeah. And I when that happened, I wanted David Wright to go to another team because, I liked him so much. I wanted him out of this nutcase, this nut house. And unfortunately that never happened. And as much as I love Petey, I would love to, Rob, put that Yankee pinstripe back on, because I would love to see Petey in pinstripes next year.
No, come on.
I would.
You're
because his team
is
it's a joke. It's a joke. It's terrible. And the way they treated him, what? It was terrible.
Getting back to the season overall, okay, the 2025 season, going all the way into June, the Mets had the best record, the best win record in all of MLB, right? And then something happened. And I'm sure there are multiple causes for the eventual outcome, which you guys can cover. And we can go around the table and we'll do that. And I'm sorry, Rob, do you have to interrupt?
Yes, absolutely. Because there's no way I get a word in edgewise.
That's true.
So my friend D. Grove, when it comes to the Mets, is the ultimate optimist. He's the ultimate optimist. Shea Stadium could be on fire. And Beat Grove is like, well, you know what? The wind is burning. The wind is going out to sea. It's fine. It'll put itself out. And as we were coming to the end of the season, I kept checking in with him, and he kept saying, it looks more likely than not that the Mets will make the playoffs. It's that they might not, but I'm fairly confident that they will. So in a way, this is extra devastating for my friend D. Grove because he firmly and absolutely believed the Mets were going to make the playoffs. So this just caught him completely off guard.
Okay. Well, hold on there, Dave. And let me just say, okay, I watched the 35-minute David Stern's press conference. Yep. I watched some of your big radio shows and podcasts and stuff about all the things that happened. The day after, everybody was effing pissed. And so the one thing that David Stearns said repeatedly in his press conference that had to be improved was run prevention, which I actually, in all my years of listening to baseball, I really hadn't heard before. But
then it means catch the ball. Okay. That's what it means. It means catch the ball. Catch the ball.
Yeah. Okay. So is that a thing? Is that a category?
It's
run
defense.
prevention.
Run prevention is pitching and defense, and
okay.
and I like Soto, and now they're talking about putting him as DH at 25 years old for the rest of his career. We're paying $750 million for I don't want to go off topic, Thad, but you run prevention means catch the ball, which they did not do.
Well, are you saying didn't Soto have a record personal best year in terms of hitting? You're saying he couldn't catch the ball?
He's a below average outfielder, but I think you can live with it.
Is he left or right? I can't remember.
You can't have him a DH for the next 15 years, can you? I don't know. What do you think, Rob?
For $100 million a year or whatever it is.
The challenge is you've got Alonso on the right side of the infield. You've got Soto on the right side, and these guys are average fielders. They're not terrible. They're not great, and they're good at best, and that's
at best.
And that's
Alonso's slightly better than average, and Soto is like a C-, D+.
I don't think Alonso's better than average.
He is. We have this conversation every freaking time.
No.
He is better than the average first baseman.
No,
I'm not saying he's Keith Hernandez.
God. No, he's
but
not.
of all the 30 first basemen,
hold on.
Let's.
I'm a
there's 30
people
that start at first base. I would put him, in the top 14 out of 30.
Yeah, you're insane. No.
I'm not.
Guys, let me ask for our audience. For our audience that aren't, is Alonso the first baseman?
Yes.
Okay, and Soto is in the outfield, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
Pete Alonso is a great.
I'm going to ask
scooper.
AI right now.
He's a great scooper. He scoops. He digs balls out. He's great at digging balls out.
That's like half the job.
Great, yes. But the other half, he's a big guy. He's got no range, and he's got a bad arm. And actually,
what is he throwing people out from right field for Pete's sake?
No, he can't throw the ball to second. He can't throw the ball home. And by the way, I'm gonna get us back on track now because with that question about what destroyed our season. Again, I do love Pete Alonso.
Run prevention was the first category.
No, It was in June when there was a ground ball. Pete scooped it up. Our number one starter, Kodai Senga, was running the first base. Pete threw it about 4 feet over his head. Senga jumped. He strained his hamstring. He was out for 2 months. Came back, was never the same. So we lost our number one starter. And, of course, we lost Shermanaya, too, when he was bad.
Senga was going to get injured no matter what. Rob used to have a quote when Jose Reyes played for us, and he would say, if Jose Reyes would sneeze, he would pull a hammy. So he was going to pull a hammy the next pitch, whatever. That was going to happen.
His arm stuff, but it caused it. Do you think Pete's got good range or a good arm?
I think he's better than the average first baseman overall. That's what I'm saying.
His defense, by the way, if you don't believe me,
I'd rather have somebody that can scoop stuff and get wide and hold somebody on good and has and fly balls going into the stands and with fly balls and stuff. He's pop ups and stuff. He's good.
I'm fine with him at first base, but he's not above average. He's average at best. That's all I'm saying.
And then
average.
and then hitting, he's definitely way plus, right? I mean,
He
how
is.
many RBIs? How many ribeye steaks did he have? 130, 122, something like that.
Fantastic.
You can't get that anywhere.
No.
Well,
but first base is an important position. I mean, it's the doorway into a home run, right? If you can get a guy out at first, that is run prevention, isn't it? I mean, whether it's the pitcher's fault or whatever,
he does.
The first baseman has got to get that person out at first base, right? And then, other than that, if they get there, they're going to steal, they're going to whatever, So, I mean, that is it. I mean, isn't that an important position?
It is.
He's mediocre. Soto's mediocre. Vientos is mediocre. You've got a lot of guys on there. It's interesting. I was listening to a podcast where they were interviewing a bunch of the New York Post beat writers, and they were saying that one of the Mets' biggest problem is they've got a lot of guys who either are great offensively and mediocre defensively, or they're great in the field and not so much hit. They don't have the complete player, which to a large extent I think is true.
Well, that's a great segue, because the next category I was going to ask you about was hitting. And the thing was, when I was listening to some of these podcasts and TV shows in your market, collectively, you guys had scored the most home runs in all of Mets history.
That's a great thing, though, because the Mets was you either hit a home run or you don't, and you don't score. That's a problem.
Okay.
Dave, what is the pedal on a car that helps you change gears?
Are we going to arrive?
No, just what is it?
Yeah.
What's it called?
We're going.
Is that
clutch.
a clutch?
Clutch.
There you go.
Okay, the Mets
were
0-70 when trailing after 8 innings.
That's almost
no clutch. That's never been done before in the history of the game, that nobody's ever come back. And last year, everybody was clutch. The hot dog vendor was clutch. Everybody, they would hit timely hitting, and I don't know what makes that. Is it just like chance? Is it the coach? I don't know. I mean, and don't you think, who's the manager we fired to get this doofus guy? Huh?
Buck Showalter.
Don't you think Buck Showalter would have made, just answer me this, and then I'll go and deliver my newspapers. Yes or no? Would Buck Showalter have been good for at least 4 games, additional wins? Yes or no, Dave? Just yes or no. You're an attorney. Just answer the question. Don't give me fluff. Yes or no, and I'll abide by what you say.
Yes.
Okay,
maybe
thank
2
you.
or 3. 2025. 2020.
3 minimum.
But maybe in 2024, maybe not.
All of us could have managed the Mets last year. They were hitting all over the place. Timely hitting.
He kept them in line. When they were horrible.
It was easy when everybody's having a good year and hitting in clutch situations. 3 more games and we would have been in the playoffs, and he definitely would have handled the pitching staff a lot better.
So wait, so you don't agree with me that the reason they went downhill was losing the number 1 and 2 starters?
No, that's one reason, but I think Showalter would have made up for that.
How do you make up for that when you lose number one and number 2
would have found somebody. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I mean,
Rob, come on. Let's give Rob a minute.
He would have been good for 3 games, and all we needed was 2 games.
Because Mendoza made a few mistakes.
To Jerome's point, here's the most damning, telling point. The last game of the year, their last game of the regular season, was, because of what went down, the most important game of the year, and until the very last minute, they couldn't tell you who was pitching. That's a problem.
That's true. I agree.
That's a
problem. You mean, though, so your starting pitcher staff, I mean, you just didn't have you had all these great guys, but you didn't have a lot of starting pitchers? Was that the problem?
Number 1 ace became a guy who pitched degrowth 5 games in the majors.
I didn't know McClain from the minors. Yeah, they took him up from the minors. Sure.
Wait, he pitched 5 games in major leagues. That's your number 1 ace closer. That's a problem.
And I also should mention real quick that, the Mets play in Queens. We all know that.
Sure.
And about 15 to 18% of all Queens residents speak Chinese as their native language or speak it fluently. And
Is that relevant?
2 episodes ago, the Arrive Alive podcast, we did an episode in all Mandarin Chinese. So if you speak Chinese or know something,
that's awesome.
Go to arrivealivepodcast.com and you can share that with your friends and family who speak Chinese. That's all I want to say.
Speak only Chinese. Would you understand what you just said?
I think so. I
don't think.
I don't know. Maybe I should do a subtitle transcription of what he just said in Chinese in case
that would
they
be cool. Oh yeah,
suffer through the first 30 minutes in English and then
Yes, go with the subtitles.
I don't. Maybe we can talk later about that one.
Right.
But
Kodai Senga is Japanese, not Chinese. So
I'm just saying the residents of Queens. No, I totally understand the difference without a doubt.
Okay.
You're trying to rein in logic. Is that where you were going with that?
A little bit. No one wants to be in a car or a motorcycle accident or a slip and fall that causes physical or mental damage, and even construction accidents are on the rise today. But if you or a friend or family member are injured, you need a professional and understanding law firm that has experience in getting the most for their clients' injuries. And you can find all of that at the law firm of Grover and Fensterstock. They are a premier personal injury firm located in New York City, and their track record is excellent. They have years of experience working and winning for their clients. Now, they offer a free consultation, and they only get paid when you get paid. So how do you get in touch with them? Well, you call David Grover at 1-866-99-LAWYER and mention that you were referred by the Scandal Sheet podcast, one of your favorite podcasts, of course. So David Grover at Grover and Fensterstock, 1-866-99-LAWYER, 866-99-LAWYER. You'll be glad you called.
Let me shift. We're talking about clutches. Let me shift gears a little bit. Another category that can be discussed is the success or failure of upper management and coaching. Everybody from Cohen all the way down to the regular guys. Were they a factor in what happened?
Here's what D. Grove said. I'm trying to make it, so I'm speaking for him enough that we could actually ditch him from the podcast moving forward. We don't need him anymore. But
I do have a question for D. Grove, but keep going.
Okay.
I wanted them to fire Mendoza. I thought, Leonardo, to your point about going 0 for 70.
70.
That's abysmal. That's on the manager. The fact that the guys are playing terrible defense and falling apart, that's on the manager. I wanted them to fire him. D. Grove said, I don't think he should lose his job, but if he does, I get it, which I think is fair.
Now,
Did they fire some guys in the wake of the end of the season?
They fired the whole coaching staff.
Oh, they did.
Question
Okay.
for D. Grove. Did Mendoza hire his entire staff? Do you know?
I doubt it. I'm sure David Stearns probably hired most of the staff.
Oh, you think so?
Maybe Mendoza has, had some influence, but David Stearns has been around. David Stearns probably.
So you think Stearns had the final say, maybe?
I'm sure he did. I think in this day and age, that's what happens. I think.
Now I wonder what's going to happen now. Like, are they going to could Mendoza say, well, part of the reason is you gave me these coaches and the pitching. I mean, remember that pitching coach we had like 10 years ago that was kind of like the Zen guy. Remember that guy?
I met him once. Peterson.
Yeah, he was great.
I met him once actually at an event. Yeah, he was a wacky
I wonder what
guy.
he's doing now.
I met him at an event. He's like a consultant now. He walks around with his business card.
You guys had Max Scherzer for a while, didn't you?
God.
Didn't you poach him from us?
Yeah,
He's terrible. He's horrible.
He's old now, but he was really good at one point.
You realize Max Scherzer is not even on the Blue Jays playoff roster.
That's
the
why I have.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's how far his star is
Well,
going.
he's like 100 years
Because
old.
of an injury or just poor pitching?
Poor pitching.
Poor down the stretch. By the way,
He didn't even make the
And
freaking
can we talk
roster.
about
He's in
Soto and the 40 stolen bases? God forbid.
Yeah, no,
Right?
please.
Like, he stole bases when we were up 7-0, and God forbid he would have pulled a hammy on a meaningless stolen base and missed 3 weeks. Like, he was so out for himself, and he's a great guy. He's got the smoothest swing since Greg Jeffries, right? But
Well, no,
But
doesn't he have the
meaningless
most
stolen bases just
amazing?
to get a record was so stupid.
Wasn't he just the most amazing plate discipline, though? So he had a career-high 43 home runs. He drove in 105 additional runs. He had a .921 OPS. I mean, and then you're talking about and then they walked him 100 times and stuff like that. I mean, didn't he earn his salary that year or no?
Yeah.
No, he totally did. And
okay, it's great.
Yeah, no.
And by the way,
the reason
if he was getting thrown out of a stolen base, if he was getting thrown out all the time to break the record, I may agree with you. He was 16ing. He was getting every stolen base.
Right, but what if he injured himself on a stolen base? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he doesn't. He's a healthy guy. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. He doesn't get hurt. Anyway, back to Thad. I want to get back to Thad's point for a minute.
What? Okay, go.
Who's to blame, right? Oh, I can't blame Steve Cohen. He spent a buttload of money, okay? Fine.
Okay.
No.
David Stearns and Carlos Mendoza in 2024 were amazing. David Stearns, everyone he brought in, amazing. Mendoza, every decision he made, amazing. 2025, complete 180. Every move that David Stearns made sucked. Every move that Mendoza made sucked. I don't get it. But again, to my point, to Rob's point, is the reason I'm not looking to fire him is he had a great they both had great 2024s. They had crappy 2025s. And you don't want to be one of those organizations that fires new regimes every year or two. You got to have some consistency. If they suck next year, if they underachieve next year, different thought. But they had a bad year, very bad year.
At the beginning of this podcast, we're going to do some excerpts from that 35-minute press conference that David Stearns had with the media the very day after the loss to the Marlins, right? And it was really long. I mean, he gave a speech, and he completely threw himself under the bus. Mea culpa. My fault. Every decision is, if I delegate it or if I make it myself, it's still my fault. He totally took responsibility.
Yeah,
and you're saying, well, that's bullshit. But, I mean,
no,
not everybody would do that. Not everybody does that.
You know what? I respect the hell out of a leader who will stand up and say, I made a mistake. It's my fault. I take full responsibility. My man. I'm the guy in charge. And if things didn't work out, it's on me. I respect the hell.
That doesn't happen in this market. Washington D.C.
Any decent leader will do that. Any decent leader.
Okay. Yep. Well, I agree with you.
When you got a 5-year contract or whatever, we got him. The guy from the Cardinals, DeMarcado, that dropped the ball at the 1 yard line. He said, "Oh, it's my fault." Damn right, you just got to hold on to the ball. There's certain things, and I don't know. I mean, I think we might be cursed from '86 too. I think we might be cursed from Showalter and the '86 Mets. Right? They should have won 2 or 3, World Series, but they were, doing cocaine and beating people up. And I think maybe some of that, the big man
you got a Bambino curse on you. Is that it?
Kind of a Bambino curse.
It
might be a curse.
To his point, and this might be a good, for the Scandal Sheet podcast, is I'm not a person who thinks curses and things like that. There were a few times this season where I said, you know something? Maybe the Wilpons sold their soul to the devil in 1986 to get that ball to go through Bill Buckner's legs to get that championship, because since then it's been one freak show after another. Something bizarre happens every year. And you wonder. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not going to say it was a curse, but again, if somebody wants to say it was, I'm not going to tell them no, because it's a little freaky.
I agree.
Okay. Now, you mentioned Steve Cohen earlier, David. Now, one of the things that, a lot of people who are not in your market, just around the MLB, are saying, wow, the Mets had the second highest payroll in all MLB. It was like $340 million. Then all these great players. I mean, what role does payroll actually play in winning into the postseason? And did your owner, Steve Cohen, despite how much he spent, kind of cheap out on talent acquisition for 2020?
What do you mean cheap out? How?
Well, I'm asking. I don't know. You think he spent enough or not?
We couldn't. He's probably the best owner that a fan could hope for. And I don't know if you know in Pittsburgh.
Okay, good.
They're running airplanes in the sky, asking the owner of the Pirates to sell because But you know what? Us and the Pirates, what do the Pirates have? Like an $80 million payroll? We got $340, and we're both playing golf. We're both playing golf right now.
He spent.
No, even my Washington Nationals beat you guys in a series, at some point in September, and we're just like blind quadriplegics in wheelchairs, and we still won. But
horrible.
And I will say they definitely have good promotions. Like I went to a couple of games this year, and they treat the fans right there. I will say they drew the most fans they've ever had. Since being at Citi Field, like over 3.1 million. So I will give them kudos for that. They actually held the motorcycle parking rate to $40 this year. But man, there's just something wrong in Denmark, as they say.
Payroll?
Something wrong.
I could just cite the fact that there was a book a few years back based on
the worst team money can buy.
The worst team money can buy. And they were talking about the early 90 Mets?
Yeah.
A few years back, 30 years ago, but yeah. In a minute. Yeah.
Great hair.
Wow.
1993. Holy crap, you're right.
And it was the worst team that money can buy. So the money that you put into it doesn't matter. And look at how a lot of these small market teams, the Tampa Bay is always there, and some of these other teams that are always.
But there's no
Well, look at the Dodgers, though. They got a big payroll, too, and they're amazing.
They have the number one
manager,
payroll.
I forgot who his manager is, but he's probably the top 2 or 3 managers in all baseball.
Dave
and our
Roberts.
manager is definitely in the lowest 5 of all baseball. Right? There's 25 managers I'd rather have other than him.
But the point,
no, of course. Not that we have time to go through this, but no, absolutely. He's not. What is with you in Mendoza? I mean, he had a bad year.
He got a team with that.
I mean, come on.
Definitely bottom 10. Definitely bottom 10.
I didn't like things.
He's definitely
bottom 10. Top 10.
Well, this year he was definitely bottom 10.
He sucked this year. He had a
but
bad,
taking that guy out, just like you said, taking what's his face out.
He also made good moves too. I'm not happy with this year. I can't defend this year. It was he had a bad year. I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
But he had a great year in 2024, so I'm not.
That's because his players had a great year and he was just sitting there.
Okay, you can't blame the players when they do badly and then give, which one is it? I mean, does the manager get credit when they do well and no blame, how
it was like when Barry Switzer took over the Cowboys, right? Jimmy Johnson set that ship, in one direction, and all Barry Switzer had to say, hey, Troy, throw it to Michael Irvin, and they won a freaking Super Bowl. Then the year after that, they were 6-10.
He took over a championship team, and he continued it. You're right. But I don't give him a ton of credit, but Mendoza had a crappy team last year that he made pretty good.
It wasn't a crappy team.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be it wasn't supposed to be a really good team. It was crappy for the first couple of months.
I think he was
your Mendoza thing is a little off. I'm not, and this year he deserves all the criticism you want to give him. He's terrible this year. But
how do you get better? Like, what is he? I don't know. Is there a remedial reading class for managers? Like, don't take your good pictures out.
But you can't not give him credit for 2024.
And in the beginning of the year when Soto was like running backwards to first base, and I don't want to say anything.
Remedial reading.
And if they win the World Series next year, you're going to not give him credit? And they suck the year after, you're going to blame him? Which one is it? I mean, you can't have it both ways.
Look, I think the saving grace was the fact that if the Mets had made the playoffs, if they did win, they would have got steamrolled by the Dodgers the way the Reds did also. They're the much better team. Mets would have played another 2 games, and that would have been it. So
you never know.
But if they would have played 500, they would have taken the NL East probably. Right? There were 21 games over 500. So if they would have played 500, they probably would have won the NL East. And I don't know how the Phillies doing, by the way. Was it 1-1 in that series?
Yeah, something like that. Oh,
but guys, remember in 2019, even though the Nats had won NL East between 2012 and whenever, like 5 times, right? And they never get out of the NLDS or whatever, but they squeezed in to the wild card slot in 2019, and then boom, went all the way to the World Series. With just like, it's possible. It's very unusual, but it's possible.
That's what I'm saying. Once you get in, you never look. They could have gotten in, and Nolan McLean could have pitched 8 innings shutout ball against the Dodgers in Game 1.
If you guys had trounced the Marlins, who knows where you'd been now?
That's what drives you crazy.
I mean, that would have created the whatever. But let me go back to something. I'm sorry, Len. Go ahead.
I just looked up. There was no enforcers, right? Like, so I'm looking the best enforcers in Major League Baseball. Don Baylor, very similar to Kevin Mitchell, right? He made sure people played up to their level. Mike Scioscia, right? He was a badass, right? He made sure the Dodgers, were in check, right? Steve Garvey was kind of a nice guy. He wasn't that type of guy. Carlton Fisk, he was another badass, right? I mean, where's the Thurman Munson, right?
Dead.
Where is the Goose Gossage, who would just,
actually, who
right?
they actually missed here? And now you're bringing up another point. I think they missed Winker this year a little bit. Winker was sort of crazy and a little bit in the sports during a little bit.
No.
Jesse Winker gave them a little bit
Albert
of edge.
Bell,
starting player, not a regular player.
Albert Bell, we would have won the division.
No, but
in
2024,
I don't want to say what
in 2024,
he would have,
Jesse Winker was, and other people said it too from the Mets.
Leadership.
He was a little energy bunny. He was the guy who ran around the room. He was a little crazy, a little off his kilter. So Jesse Winker was actually, like they talk about OMG.
Baseman
missing what's his name, Iglesias. But he brought a different vibe, not an enforcer crazy vibe. But I think a guy like Winker, who was a little bit crazy and a little bit, come on guys, and the long hair and the jumping around, I thought that they missed the Winker energy this year, that he was out all year with the injury.
You need an everyday leader, and a guy that's out there every single day doing it, or most days.
Well, Lindor is their leader.
Right, and he laughs too much.
Look, they were saying the Mets have two very different leaders. You have the smiley, happy, let's go get him guys, Lindor, and you have the very serious, business-like Juan Soto, and that's kind of the yin-yang. They're two different types of leaders on that team.
By the way, are we going to talk about Leonardo running out of his apartment and chasing a car that drove by, or no?
No. Anyway.
Leonardo from Manhattan is open roadside in other tabs. Okay. Well, look, Leonardo raised the point. There he is. Leonardo raised this point a few minutes ago that Citi Field broke the club record of paid attendees. Almost 3.2 million fans came to the park in the 81 games held there. The previous record was set in 2009, a long time ago.
First year.
Did the fans do their part in cheering on this team? What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
They
did. Okay.
They got the best fans. It's the most diverse fan base in all of baseball, maybe with the exception of the Dodgers, who also have a very diverse. But you go to a game, you see Latino, you see Asian. I mean, East Helmhurst, Jackson Heights, Corona, the Bronx, Brooklyn.
Well, you and LA are the most diverse cities on the planet. Basically, New York City and Los Angeles, completely, unbelievably diverse.
So what happened? So what happened, Thad, was last year the Mets weren't drawing as much as they would have hoped.
Okay.
So Steve Cohen came out, spent a buttload of money, and he challenged the fans. He said, "Hey, I'm spending the money. You guys got to show up." And man, we did. We answered that challenge. It's partly the challenge. It's also partly, as you probably know, there's always a lag with attendance, right? The Mets drew more in 1987 than they did in 86. There's always that year after you're great, you become a hot ticket. So the Mets had a good year in 2024. That helped our attendance in 2025.
Let me ask you.
I also have a little inside information that I was going to save to the end, but all the different promotions. They did the pet promotion. Bring your pets on Mondays. What I hear for next year,
we have all that stuff too.
They're doing the Rob Houtman night. Everybody that walks to the stadium from more than 5 miles away gets a free hot dog
or a straitjacket.
So they're going to be giving away.
Talk about that. I want the national audience to know, other than they should go to the Arrive Alive podcast, is that Rob Houtman has walked. Rob, how many games in your life do you think have you been? Let's do a division that you've been to, and how many games have you walked to? Because sometimes you'll take a subway home. Is that correct? Because it's late and stuff.
If it's a late night game, sure, but I like to walk from my apartment to Shea Stadium because it's really
11 miles away. 11 is it 11 miles or not 9?
No, less than that. I think it's like 7 or 8.
It's at least 7. It's at least
right.
7.
It's a nice casual walk.
So, what % of games in the last 10 years you would say have you walked to?
42.8. 42.8.
42% you've walked to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, look, Rob is sporting the Thor haircut.
And if the owner gave you half-season tickets next year, if you would go to one game riding on the back of my motorcycle, would you do it, yes or no?
No. I told you this before. I'll tell you
You're a
again.
fairy. You're a fairy.
There's no universe to be on the back of your motorcycle and we're going together. That's just... And I will pretend to listen to that, but I will not, absolutely not, go on the back of your motorcycle.
Hi, my name is Len Bilello, and in September of 2019, I was riding my motorcycle and an SUV ran a red light and crashed into me pretty good, but thankfully I survived with no major injuries. But it was that day that I decided to make a podcast about motorcycle safety. It's called Arrive Alive, and it can be found at arrivealivepodcast.com, or just search Spotify or iTunes for Arrive Alive. And if you have an Amazon Alexa speaker, just say, "Hey Alexa, play Arrive Alive podcast." Now, we have 37 episodes featuring expert riders from North and South America talking about their personal approaches to safety and how to get the most enjoyment from riding. So if you ride or have a friend or a family member that rides, please do them a favor and send them to arrivealivepodcast.com. Thank you.
So
can we talk about Evan and Tiki Barber on how bad their show is? I was watching that clip.
I like their show.
I'm going to do a clip from them. I'm sorry. But anyway.
Wait a minute.
Take your Klonopin for Pete's sake.
Man. That's my favorite show.
Evan is he used to be good. Now he thinks he's like the next coming of Howard Stern and Craig Carton. And Tiki.
What is good? What's better than their show?
Benigno.
Benigno's a maniac.
Benigno's good. When I call, he gives me 15 minutes to talk.
He hasn't. You know what I like about those guys, about Evan and Tiki? They have something that many hosts don't have. Knowledge. They know the game. They know the sports. They know analyze.
Tiki Barber, Mr. Fumble, knows about baseball.
Too.
How does Tiki Barber know about baseball?
You know what's funny? He didn't when he stared, but now he really does. And I guess
probably has interns feeding him stuff in the earpiece. I guarantee you.
He knows what he's doing. And Evan knows everything about baseball. And Tiki knows everything about football.
Whatever.
Okay, now moving the subject right along. So, guys, as we're moving towards the conclusion here, hopefully Steve Cohen and David Stearns listen to all of your mobster podcasts and are perhaps listening to this one right now. Now, you've got their ear. What specific changes should the Mets make for the 2026 season that will get them, at the very least, into the playoffs and hopefully into the World Series? Please go. They're listening.
That's a hard one, man. That's a tough one because
come on, you guys are the Mets mob.
I know, but they have so many guys under contract. Most of their positions are filled up, actually. There's not a lot of spots. They have a starting rotation with all the new guys. Maybe not a lot of top heavy, not enough good ones, but they have a full starting rotation. They're full on. So I would say
new management, coaching.
Wait, bullpen. Stock up that bullpen.
Yeah.
Ton. Really good bullpen arms.
But there's no good bullpen arms available.
There's always a few. Go out and get bullpen arms. Get some good arms and get 3 or 4 or 5 guard. No more of these minor league guys coming up the Syracuse shuttle, pitching for a game, then leaving. Let's get a good. We could think about it. There's no other spot that's blatantly in need, right? I mean, everything is kind of filled up. So where are you looking to add? I mean, they don't need a starting pitcher.
What about Beatty? Beatty, do you bring him back as your full-time third baseman?
Beatty was terrific. Absolutely, I would bring him back. He had a very good year, and he's got he's got a lot of talent, and he got better as the year went on. And he plays good defense. Absolutely bring Beatty.
I mean, look, this is what every team does in the offseason, but I think especially for the Mets, you have to identify the guys that you're going to trade the guys that are just not part of the future. I always mispronounce his name. Mauricio. Is that guy for real? I could strike him out. Is
top prospect
Alvarez? I could strike out Alvarez, and I could also probably hit him in the hand because this guy got hit in the hand, I think, 12 times in the course of the year. But is he your everyday guy? Has McNeil worn out his welcome? Vientos can't play the field. He's another guy that's good hit, sorta. Bad glove. What do you do with him? Is he your first baseman if you re-sign Pete and you tell Pete, hey, look, the deal is we want you, but you're our DH first and sometime first baseman.
Well, then what do you do with Soto? They want to make Soto the DH.
I don't think so. No,
there's a lot of talk of making him a full-time DH, but you know what I would do? I would so January, I would rent like a cabin in a remote area of like a snowy mountain, and I would put Lindor and Soto, and if you're keeping Alonso, put them all in together, and you say, you guys are not coming out, no internet, no Snapchat, no nothing. You guys are not coming out until you all three grow a pair, and you are all best friends. I want you to know each of your mother's birthdays and how their mothers met their husbands. I want them to be friends because there was like some rumors that Lindor and Soto didn't get along.
I think that was kind of debunked, and because I don't think they were good friends. But
they got to be friends. They got to be friends.
Soto and Aaron Judge weren't good friends. By the way, Gary Carter and Keith Hernandez weren't good friends when they played either. I mean, you don't have to be. You know what I mean? You could be great co-captains. It'd be nice if they were. But
it's just like any other workplace. You don't have to love all your colleagues, right, to be successful with them.
But they got to say, we're the leaders, and we're going to be enforcing, right? If you do something, you get caught stealing, whatever, making a base raid, not catching the ball, you got to, answer to us. Not Mendoza, you got to answer to us.
I don't even get
it. Some of that, yeah.
And don't be afraid
Is Alonso coming back, or isn't he testing the market?
I don't think he wants to come back.
Is he coming back or not?
I think he's going to be your DH first baseman.
Let me ask you this, D. Grove, and I know you've been married for a while, but let's pretend you were single and you were dating like this really hot woman. You were in love with her, and then
he was dating a very hot woman.
And she broke up with you, let's say, in February. And then you were really sad for a few months, but let's say in May she called you up and you weren't really dating anybody. So she's like, hey, I want to get back with you. And then you do get back with her, right? But then come, let's say, October, you meet like another really nice woman that gets you. Would you go, I want him out of here. I want Pete out of here.
This is the Len rom-com.
Yeah. And the fact that they broke up with him so like that, not giving him real money. Now, I know he turned down a bigger offer, but.
He did. They gave him the more than anybody else. That's all they should have done. Then that job is not to. That shouldn't give double what.
Do the Dodgers need a first baseman?
No,
Freddie.
He's coming back, Thad. He's coming back. Market right now. And I'll tell you why.
He wants to be. He says he likes New York.
No, he doesn't.
He loves it. He wants to be here.
No, he doesn't.
The owner wants him here. The owner has money. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
How come they didn't meet his demands in the offseason?
They did. They said, we'll pay you more than anybody else, and they did. Nobody offered him anything.
All right, let's see if it happens again now.
They're going to say,
all right, what do you give him? Let's play GM. Dave, what do you give? What's your offer to Pete? 5 years and what?
5 years, 150?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, in that ballpark is about fair. I hope that gets it done. I don't know.
I think he's not going to get more. People are saying 4 with an option or something like that.
Preferably 4, but 5 150 or whatever it is, because that's I want him back. The fans love him. He's a fan favorite. He broke the home run record. He's still got a number of good years left in him. He's a good guy.
He's still pretty clutch
in New York. And if you go to the game, you see Alonso jerseys
everywhere.
So it's not,
everywhere.
So there is definitely there's a monetary value to that too.
Like we've said, PR-wise, not the best thing on the last day after that crushing loss to say, yeah, I'm a free agent. I'm opting out.
Well,
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
That wasn't cool.
He could have waited till the next day. Just
until the next day.
Not the time to talk about that stuff. Let's talk about the game.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
He was asked an honest question. He gave an honest answer. Yeah. Should have waited.
One day.
Yeah, one day.
The only last thing I wanted to ask you, because I asked you what changes you wanted, But
Veteran leadership.
There was a wish list of what they should do, but what do you think will actually happen in 26? And then we'll say goodbye.
I think they'll make a trade for a great starting pitcher.
We'll need Tommy John surgery the third week of the season.
If not in spring training, but yes. Right.
Are you in the playoffs next year?
I think because of this owner, every year the Mets are in contention.
They're in contention.
Yeah.
I think they're going to re-sign Pete. And by the way, you didn't bring up their MVP this year, in my opinion.
Edwin Diaz
is also going to opt out of his contract. So I think, and he was their best player, I think they're going to sign Pete. I think they're going to re-sign Diaz. I think they'll add to the bullpen. And I think they'll make some minor trades. Nothing dramatic, but like maybe one of the guys Rob mentioned for
most of the roster, but new management is going to hopefully change things. Or
it's the same manager.
Oh, is it? I thought you said they swept the manager.
Well, no, they're going to they're going to do walk the shake, say to me, you get a hot dog, I thought, which I'm psyched about.
No, they got rid of the pitching coach, the hitting coach.
Okay.
A couple other coaches. So they revamped the entire coaching staff. So that, people were saying, and I know Leonardo listens to FAN, and he doesn't like Evan Roberts. I do. He brought up bringing in either Carlos Beltran or Willie Randolph as the bench coach next year. Thoughts, Leonardo?
How old is Willie?
Yeah, what is it, mid-60s maybe? Late 60s? Is he late 60s?
We're 60 almost.
Does that manage? Does that matter in management?
That's a good point. You can't.
I think
you're right.
Let's see. How old is Willie Randolph?
Maybe he is 70. You're right, because he was playing in the 70s. He might be 70. You're right.
Randolph. He is 71. All right. So, I mean, gosh, we have Bernie Sanders, my guy. He's close to 75, and I love him. So, if Bernie's still,
you let Bernie Sanders, the senator from Vermont, you love
without
him?
a doubt, man. He's freaking so sane. It's not even.
I thought you were a Republican. I didn't realize you were.
No, I'm independent, but he's got good ideas. I like him.
Okay, cool. Okay, last words. Anybody? Last words. Anything you forgot? Knock it out. I'll cut it in. I'll put it in a teaser.
I would, though they held the motorcycle pricing for parking, I would like a dedicated motorcycle parking area at Citi Field that's close to the front and
like with the bicycles, the actual bicycles.
Yeah. But and then I think chemistry is so important. They need veteran leadership, even if they don't play that well, right? Even if they're a part-time, like Rusty Staub. Remember Rusty? He would like pinch hit every once in a while, but he was like veteran leadership on those teams. For Pete's sake.
When you win, you have great leadership. When you lose, you don't.
Well, if you don't have good leadership, you lose. That's the thing, counselor. Come on, counselor. You're out of order here.
Little overrated.
You're out of order.
A little bit overrated. A little bit.
Yeah, the winners write history, Len.
That's what happens.
We're brilliant if we won. The Nazis lost, but if they'd won, it'd be a whole different ballgame, right? Literally.
You're going to have a podcast with the word Nazi in it? You got to...
But
I'm trying to get Trump to sign up. Become a Patreon subscriber.
The Mets will make the playoffs next year. Met fans are bitter and angry right now. We're all devastated and upset, but they will be back. And as long as, I'm sorry, I'm not a perfect person, as long as the Yankees lose somewhat in the near future, I can get through my off season, and next year the Mets will be back. Count on it.
All right, guys.
Dan, I'm looking forward tomorrow to doing our Yankees Mob podcast. So,
all right, everybody. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The Mets Mob.
Hooray!
We hope you'll follow or subscribe to Scandal Sheet on your favorite pod platform.
Do it.
And share it with all your friends, just like Anurada does every day.
Do
tirelessly.
it.
just sits there on Twitter all day saying, "Hey, man!"
Sure.
We'd also love it if you leave us a shameless, over-the-top rave review on Apple Podcasts, especially. That helps us build audience. And we would really appreciate if you could support us on Patreon, where you can enjoy premium bonus content less the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks. So just go to patreon.com/ScandalSheet. Also, we want to hear from you. You can reach us online at Facebook or X, formerly Twitter, LinkedIn, or TikTok. Or just send an email to scandalsheetpod@gmail.com. See you next time on Scandal Sheet.
Scandal Sheet.
Copyright 2025. Thad Halkley Media, LLC, all rights reserved.